Once again, welcome to the class, students. And in today's class, we'll try to go through uh, DNS server and DNS system. Okay, so DNS stands for domain name space. Okay, actually, it is known as, to be precise, they call it as domain name space system, but sometimes it is also known as domain name system. It is also known as domain name system. Okay, so what is this domain name system? A domain name system is a naming technique for naming a system, a group of computers, or a server, or some sort of resources. Okay, so there is some sort of naming. Okay, so the definition whatever I am telling, it might be somewhat difficult to understand, and you'll feel some sort of you'll be unable, yeah, I think you are unable to understand. But as we progress through this topic, at the end of the session you'll be able to understand what is a domain name system and what is the how we are using it. Okay, so it is nothing but a domain name system is a naming technique for naming computers, resources, or private organizations. Okay, see, and on internet, okay, on internet it is a naming technique. So, why? Because there are different organization, and different organization provide different resources or different services. Okay, we are connected to different services and different resources and different organizations, and that are connected to the internet, so by using internet, different organizations are providing different services and different resources. Sometimes some sort of services are for themselves. Okay, for example, if I am running a company, and I want my, suppose I'm having many branches. Some For example, if you take this Wipro or Tata IT companies, they are operating even at overseas. They are operating even at overseas, that is other countries. So for them to communicate with themselves, okay, so for example, Wipro will have their own database. Okay, it will have its own server. Okay, that server might be located in India. Okay, and now I am residing at Australia or some America, and I should be able to communicate with this server. Okay, or for example, sometimes services might be for general public. Okay, for example, Facebook was actually created in America. Okay, so its server might be in America. Okay, now whenever I am using Facebook, I have to be able to connect to the server that is located at America. Okay, so something like that. So now, if in order to communicate these different services, different resources, and different facilities of an organization through internet, the must you must have a IP address. Okay, not only you, even that server, okay, that service, it should have its own IP address. So that there will be a two-way communication between you and that system, okay. So here, an internet is, so here, now, but see, you're having millions of internet services and millions of many organization providing many types of services and many types of resources you have to contact. Okay, so to contact them, you should know their IP address. So, but it is, so how many IP addresses you can remember? Actually, how many numbers you can remember? Okay. So it is very difficult to remember the IP address. Okay, now if it is IP version 4, it is difficult. If it is IP version 6, it is much more difficult. Why? Because you are having 128 bits. Uh, okay, so 128 bits of IP address, it is much more difficult compared to your 32 bits. Okay, both the IP addresses are difficult. Okay, so now there should be a technique where you have to you will be able to only communicate with the servers or services that are on the internet if you know the IP address. If you are able to get the IP address, if you are able to get the IP address, but if you are able to get the IP address, but you will be able to, but you will be you are, it is difficult for the user to remember the IP address. It is difficult for the user to remember the IP address. So there should be some solution. Okay. So in a simple way, you are having many phone numbers in your mobile phone. Okay. So if there is no application like phone book, contacts, whatever the application is there, it is not there. If it is not there, then you have to remember the phone numbers. Okay. So my mom number is so and so, my dad's number is so and so. Okay. So and so friends. Okay. Some Pooja number is so and so. Okay. Ajay number is so and so. In this way, you need, if there is no phone book application in your mobile phone, you have to remember those numbers. Okay. You have to remember the number of those individuals, or you have to write in a earlier you used to have a phone book in home. Even now you might be behind. In a phone book you should have the list of uh, the contact name and the number associated with it. Okay. Now something now, so it is very difficult thing. It is very difficult to remember the numbers. Okay. So there is a chance of you may forget, or you may what there is a chance that you may commit a mistakes in remembering the numbers, or okay. So that time it will create a lot of problem. In a similar way, in a IP address also, it is difficult for us to remember the IP address. For example, if you, now right now you are just, if you want to contact a Facebook through your web browser, you are just typing fb.com. You are just typing fb.com. But if you are unable to remember the name, if you are unable to remember the name, if there is no such thing, then you have to actually you have, whenever you are typing fb.com, you are getting IP address. You are getting IP address. But if there is no such thing, if there is no such thing, then you have to remember the IP address of the Facebook. You have to remember the IP address of Facebook, something like 172.116.32.17. You have to remember the IP address of each and every uh, website or service, or even for your Gmail and all those things. Okay. So such things are very impossible. So for that, there is a solution. Okay. So why we are comfortable with names. Okay. We may remember many names, but we cannot remember many sequence of numbers. Okay. It is for a human brain, it will easily remember the names, and it is difficult for it to remember the numbers. But actually, for the computers to communicate over the internet, they cannot communicate based on the names. They can communicate only based on the IP addresses. They can communicate only based on the IP addresses. So here here there should be some sort of, you are comfortable with names, whereas your systems are comfortable with numbers. Okay, they are comfortable with numbers. So there should be some solution so that systems are both the user and the systems are satisfied. Okay, that means there is a method of communication. Okay. So for that, so here domain name system. Okay, domain name system comes with a solution. Okay. Here it assigns a name to organization, network, servers and applications. Okay. So a domain name system, it comes with a solution of assigning names to organization, network, servers and application. Okay. So here user can use this name to address the organization or individual related application. Okay. For example, as I said, no, facebook.com. Okay. Facebook.com is a, Facebook is a, it is a application. Okay. It is a website, and where you will be, social media application. Okay. Where you will be storing your where you will be sharing your thoughts and where you will be meeting your friends, and okay, it is a social network. No? Now here, so here by instead of IP address, domain name system will give for each IP address a name. Okay, each IP address where it is some sort of application or organization related thing, it will assign a name, so that if the user, whoever wants to contact that specific application, he can contact by using the name. Okay, he can contact by using name. He need not remember the IP address, but just by remembering the name, he will be able to communicate. He will be able to communicate with the uh, service or server or application. Okay, so here domain name system also provides mapping to translate domain names to IP address. So one thing, finally, whenever the communication is should be, finally whenever you want your system to communicate with a server or anything, the at last you should have a IP address. At last you should have a IP address. So here domain name system will convert whatever the name you enter. For example, if I enter facebook.com, if I enter the facebook.com, then it will convert it into a the IP address. Okay, then it will convert into a IP address. Okay, so it will try to map. So here you can see a domain name system. Here whatever here it will provide compatibility. Here it will provide compatibility between your human being. He will be able to remember lot of words and sentences and English, okay, alphabets, whereas your systems will be able to communicate with IP address. So here domain name system or domain name, it will try to provide the it will try to provide the compatibility between both the system and the user, okay, so that they will be able to communicate over the internet. So here domain name system, as I said, it also provides a mapping method to translate domain names to IP address. Okay. So here you can see a domain name system is something similar to a phone book. Okay, it is something similar to a phone book. Okay, so here what is that means? You are having a in what does you have in a normal phone book? In a normal phone book, you will have a name and you will have a number associated with. You will have a name and you will have a number associated with it. And whenever you click on the name and whenever you try to call, okay, so whenever you call Mohan or call Sham, so whenever you are clicking on that call button, it is calling the number that is assigned to that name. Okay, so whatever the contact you are clicking and whenever you are clicking that green dial button, it is dialing the number that is assigned to that name. It is dialing the number that is assigned to that name. In a similar way, even in domain name system, here it is also a phone book. So in this phone book, what do we have? You will have domain names. Okay, this is an example of domain names. We will discuss in detail. So this is an example of domain name, that is www.google.com, and the associated IP address is this thing. Okay, so in domain name system, it is something similar to phone book, where it will have a list of domain names on one side and the IP addresses that are assigned to the domain names. Okay, and the IP addresses that are assigned to the domain names. Okay, so that is the thing. Now, and also there should be a mapping technique. There should be a mapping technique, so that uh, so that there should be a mapping technique, so that you have to be able to convert the domain names to IP addresses. Okay, so similarly, why? Because in your contact also there should be a mapping technique. So whenever you are dialing on the user, whenever you are trying to dial by using, whenever you are instructing call Mohan, it has to call the number. Okay, in a similar way, even in domain name system, whenever you are entering a www.google.com and whenever you are clicking on enter button, there should be a technique where your URL should be converted to IP address. URL should be converted to IP address. Okay, so like that. So that is the, so that is it is a, so if whenever you are able to get the IP address from domain name, okay, whenever you are able to get the IP address from domain name, then it is that by using that IP address you will be able to locate the resources, okay, or you will be able to connect to the resources by using the IP address. So in previous chapters also we have discussed, so the at the end of the day, in the basic necessity of any component that is connected to internet is it should have its IP address. If it has IP address, then only you will be able to communicate. Then only you will be able to communicate. Okay. So this mapping results in locating of resources based on IP address from domain. So as I said, it acts like a telephone directory or phone book. So here there is an example. Okay, I think you are able to follow me, but if you are unable to follow, we'll discuss this example so that you will be able to. Okay. So here, when you just type google.com in your browser, okay, this google.com is nothing but it is a domain name associated to certain web page. Okay, a web page, you are assigning a google.com. So in further of the, as we move deeper into this class, we will see how it is, who is responsible at what place, okay, who is assigning the domain name. Okay, so now whenever you type google.com in your browser, okay, so it is a domain name. The google.com is a domain name and it has an IP address associated with it. Google.com is a domain name and it has an IP address that is associated with it. Okay, now whenever you enter google.com and whenever you click on enter, then this IP address, your to your web browser, this IP address will be fetched. Okay, a domain name system will first get the IP address and it will give the IP address to the browser. It will give the IP address to the browser. Okay, so whatever the Google web page IP address is there, that will be provided to the browser. Okay, so that is in, so by using the IP address you are able to communicate. Okay, by using the IP address you are able to communicate. So here domain name system, it will provide a domain name to a IP address, and also whenever a client or a user wants to connect to certain services or resources or web pages, okay, then it will get the IP address. It will get the IP address by using the domain name. Okay, so in a similar way, we are having millions of websites, applications, resources which have names and associated IP addresses. We have names and associated IP addresses, and here domain name system will be able to fetch those IP addresses whenever you want. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so that is the thing about domain name system. Now DNS server. Okay, so DNS server, what is a DNS server? Okay, so DNS server is nothing but, see, it is a server, it is a group of servers. Okay, DNS server is not a single server, it is not a single server. Sometimes many servers will, okay, DNS server is a group of servers. Okay, a group of servers which will try to take the domain name from you and try to provide the IP address associated with that domain name. Okay, a domain name server is a group of servers. A DNS server is used to get the IP address for the requested domain name. Okay, generally, what is the role of what is a DNS server means? And see here, let us see what is the role of a DNS server. A DNS server, it might not be a single server. Here you can see you are having a group of servers. Okay, a group of servers are there. Okay, so whenever you are providing a IP address or whenever you are providing a domain name, whenever you are requesting, your browser is requesting for a domain name, you are provided with the IP address. You are provided with the IP address. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so let us see what is the role of a DNS server. How you are able to get the IP address. How you are able to get the IP address. So here a DNS server is used to get IP address for requested domain name. Okay, as I said, a DNS server. Now similarly, a DNS system. Okay, DNS is domain name system is you are able to get the IP address uh, from the name, from the IP address from the domain name. But how you are able to get means you are able to how you are implementing domain name system. Domain name system is implemented by domain name server, DNS server. Domain name system is implemented by DNS server. You are using DNS server specifically to fetch the IP address. Okay. So in previous classes also we have seen different kinds of servers. Web server purpose is to store web pages. FTP server purpose is to for storing the files which have to be uploaded or downloaded. Okay, FTP server. So in a proxy server is it is a server which will store the files that are for main target server. Okay, whatever your main target web server is there, that web pages are stored in your this proxy server. Okay, so in this way you are having different kinds of servers. So similarly, and different servers will provide different types of service, different types of service. So in a similar way you are having a DNS server. Okay, a DNS server, the only the service of a DNS server is to provide the IP address for a user whenever he requests. Whenever a user requests a DNS server, it will provide the IP address. It will provide the IP address. Okay. So here that is the thing. Now a DNS server is used to get IP address for the requested domain. Okay. So a set of DNS servers will work together to get IP addresses. So as I said here, okay, here a set of DNS servers, they will try to work together to get the IP address. But because see, you cannot have a single DNS server. The world is very big. Okay, so a single DNS server will not be able to provide you the it is unable to, it will not be able to provide you the IP address. Okay, so it needs some help from other DNS servers. Okay, so it is a DNS server is similar to a telephone directory inquiry service. Okay, it is similar to telephone directory inquiry service. Okay, so for example, that means you will be asking the name. Okay, you will remember the name. So in olden days, in telephone directory inquiry service, okay, but how it used to be, the people used to ask name. Okay, so and so name, please give me the number, please connect me to so and so number. Okay, so in earlier days, the the people do, now after some time they have created a telephone directory where you will have landline numbers of different people who are connected to BSNL. But in the previous days, there used to be a telephone directory inquiry service. Okay, so where people used to call to the trunk and they used to request the operator to please connect me to Subbarao or Ramanarao or someone. Okay, they used to, based on your name, they used to connect manually. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so in a similar way, even here also, based upon your request, that is your entry in the URL, you are being connected to different websites. You are being connected to different websites. Okay, so here in the earlier days of internet, all the domain names are and their associated IP addresses were recorded in a single file. Okay, so a single system, that system was present in US, that system was present in US, and that single system used to hold the all the domain names. Okay, domain names and associated IP addresses. It used to hold the domain names and associated IP addresses. Okay, and that in a single file known as host.txt. Host.txt. Okay. So the network information center in US maintained this file. Okay, the network information center in US maintained this file. Okay, so that is the thing. So a single system used to maintain that DNS file, that is host.txt, and now whenever I am connected to internet, the first thing internet used to do is it used to download that host.txt. It used to download that host.txt onto your computer, and by using that host.txt, your the websites and IP addresses are able to you are able to translate between that domain names and the associated IP addresses. Okay, you are able to translate between domain names and the associated IP addresses. Okay, but this is not a correct way. So a single system holding all the IP address. So it was in the earlier days when number of systems connected to internet were very few. The number of systems that were connected to internet were very few. This was the approach, but right now it is not a correct approach. It is not a proper way. So why? Because you are having millions of systems and millions of services and all those. Okay. So, and also one more problem. Okay, so if there is any repair or if there is any maintenance work of that single system, then you will not be able to contact it, and the entire internet will be collapsed. Okay, entire internet will be, it will not function, because all the at the end of the day, whenever you want to communicate with a different server or service, you need to have the IP address. So to provide IP address, this host.txt should be downloaded. But if it is not not there, you are unable to connect to the internet. Okay, so that is it. So this centralized way, or a single system maintaining the domain names and IP addresses, is not the correct way, but it was practiced in the early days of internet invention. Okay. But now the DNS servers are distributed throughout the world. Okay, so a DNS servers, a very large group of DNS servers are distributed throughout the world, and it is a and you are using a decentralized approach for quick access of IP address. Okay. So that means, and one more thing here, for example, if I am having my company, if I am having a company, so let us say for example TCS. Now if TCS is a company, it will try to maintain its own DNS server. It will try to maintain its own DNS server. Okay, it will try to maintain its own DNS server. Now if it is if Wipro is a company, Wipro will try to maintain its own DNS server. It will try to maintain its own DNS server. Why? Because see, if it is a centralized approach, so then it will be difficult. See, it is not completely decentralized or it is not completely centralized. There is some sort of what authority, central authority, and there is also local authority. I will be explaining this thing when we will go in detail. Okay, so it is not completely centralized, it is not completely decentralized, but it is some sort of mediation. Okay, some certain up to certain part, and that means if you want to, you can have, if you are able, if you want to have your own website, okay, so if you are registering your website address, so you are provided with a domain name, and you are provided with the associated IP address, something like that. Okay, so forget about this thing, and you will learn in the future, uh, in the coming topics about that thing. But one thing you remember is a DNS server is a distributed throughout the world, and it is a decentralized approach for quick access of IP address. Okay, so that is it. So now, what are the operations performed over a DNS server? Let us see what are the operations that are performed over a DNS server. Okay, so a DNS server should first get a request. Okay, it should get a request. So that means it will be waiting. So in previous classes also we have discussed about server. So a server will be just waiting for request. It will wait for request, and whenever a request will come to it, then it will try to perform its operation based on the request that will come to the server. Based on the request, it will perform its own operation. Now in a similar way, a server, here in a DNS server, a server, it should also get a request. If it gets a request, then it will reply. Okay, so a DNS server will get a request. It will get request from a application. It can get a request from application. Application is nothing but your browser. It can get request from application, here from browser, for converting domain names into IP address. So a DNS can get two types of requests. One request, it might be directly from the client or the system. It can be directly from the client or system. So it will ask for the DNS server to convert a name to specific IP address. That is one kind of request. In second case, it can get request from other DNS servers. It can get from request from other DNS server to convert domain names into IP addresses. So why does this happen? So the second case, for example, if I ask you, uh, so suppose if you are Raju, okay, and if you are, and then there is Mohan and Sham. If you are Raju, there are three students in my class: Raju, Mohan, and Sham. Raju, Mohan, and Sham. So Raju is close to me. Raju is close to me. Or consider Raju as my class representative or someone. Okay. So I want to know Sham's number. I want to know what is Sham's mobile number. Okay. So I'll ask Raju. I'll ask Raju. Raju, give me Sham's mobile number. I want to speak with him. Okay. So if Raju has that mobile number, he will give me. He will check his mobile and he will give me. Sir, so it is so and so. But if Raju is not having that number, if Raju is not having that mobile number, then what will he do? He will ask Mohan. He will ask Mohan. Why? Because Mohan is close to Sham and he is having Mohan's number. He is having Mohan's number, or Mohan is present in the class. Okay. So he will ask Mohan. He will ask Mohan. Sir is asking that Raju's. Sir is asking that Sham's number. Give it to me, and Raju will get that number, and then he will give it to me. So in a similar way, here the first case is directly Raju. First case is Raju is directly having the number and he is giving it to me. So that is, so whenever I ask number, Raju is responding with the number. Now second case is Raju is not having the number. Raju is not having the number. So he has to ask another third person. He has to ask another person to get the number. So here in a similar way, so first a DNS server, if it has the IP address in its memory, it will give me the IP address. Okay. If it does not have the IP address, it will contact other DNS server. It will contact other DNS server until it gets me the IP address. And if the other DNS server, so that is why you are having a DNS server can get two types of request. One request might be directly from the user, and the other request can be from other DNS server. Okay. So I think you are able to understand. Now, when a request comes to DNS server, it supplies the IP address. So what is a whenever a request comes to DNS server, what are the different possible operations? What are the different possible operations? So in previous slide we have seen what are the different possible requests that can come to a DNS server. Now in this slide we will see what are the different possible operations that are performed whenever a request for IP address for certain DNS server, for certain domain name comes to a DNS server. Okay. Now first thing is it supplies the IP address. So whenever it gets a a request for IP address for so and so URL. So it supplies IP address of the domain name as it has IP address in its cache memory. Okay, it supplies the IP address for the domain name by as it has the IP address of that uh, as it has the IP address for the domain name in its cache memory. Okay, so that is the first possibility. That is the first possibility. In the second possibility, so if it does not have IP address, okay, so after searching for its cache memory, okay, the DNS server does not have IP address, then every DNS server will be is connected to a every DNS server is connected to uh, a other DNS server. Okay, so if a DNS server is unable to find the IP address in its cache memory, every DNS server is connected to a secondary DNS server, so that if it does not find the IP address in its cache memory, it will ask that DNS server. It will ask that DNS server, the secondary DNS server, and it will try to fetch the IP address. Okay, so that is the thing. So for example, so now in this case, if that is the case, okay, now if the DNS server is unable to fetch the IP address, then it will contact this alternate DNS server. So alternate DNS server is the server that is connected to the first primary DNS server. Okay, to a primary DNS server, you will connect the alternate DNS server. You will connect the alternate DNS server, and by using this alternate DNS server, you will be able to communicate. You will be able to communicate. Sorry, you will be able to get the IP address. So a DNS server, if it after going through its cache memory, if it is unable to find the IP address, to get a IP address of that um, domain name, so it will contact it should know who is the next DNS server it should contact. So the DNS server is known as alternate DNS server. So it will contact the alternate DNS server, and it will try to fetch the IP address. Now what happens even if this alternate DNS server is not having? It will further, that alternate DNS will have one more alternate DNS server. So in this case, in this way, it will try to maximum it will try to find the IP address. Okay, now that is the thing. So if it still can't get the IP address, it can simply say I don't know IP address for the domain name, and it will suggest the name of another DNS server. Even after going through many alternate DNS server, if it is unable to fetch the IP address, IP address, then it will go to the it will reply with a message. Okay, it will try to contact the browser, and it will say so and so is the I am unable to find this IP address, but I am expecting this IP address can be found in this DNS server. Okay, and by using that, your browser or your operating system, your browser will try to contact with that name that is suggested by this DNS server, and it will try to get the IP address. Once again, it will start to get the IP address. Okay, so that is it. Now, but at the end, even after contacting all the DNS servers, you are unable to get the IP address, then it will provide this error message. Okay, at the end of the day, after going through all the possibilities, after contacting all the possible DNS server, and still if you are unable to fetch the IP address, and if still you are unable to fetch the IP address, it will get back, it will show you an error message. It will display an error message on your web browser. It will display an error message on your web browser, and that error message is IP address could not be found. IP address could not be found. So that is the error message that is displayed on the your web browser. Okay, so that is the thing. So but see, you're having many domain names. Okay, you're having different websites. Okay, government websites, private websites, country websites, different countries. So for you take in India, they're having government websites. That government website might be a central government website. It might be a state government website. Different websites, some private websites. Okay, different types of websites you are having, and they are providing you different types of services. So how, so whenever I think you are all using, you have all used the web browser, and you have okay, and you are familiar with browsing. Okay, you are all familiar with browsing. Now whenever you are entering a name in your browser, and whenever you are clicking enter, okay, sure, you are able to see that web page within seconds, okay, less than a second, I think sometimes. Okay, you are able to view a web page less than a second. That means your your DNS is fetching that IP address less than second. Okay, you are able to get that IP address within seconds, and by using that IP address you are able to connect. Okay, so first step is you should get the IP address. So your domain name system is created in a such a way that you are able to access the you are able to fetch the IP address in a very quick way. You are able to get the IP address in a very quick way. Your domain name system is created, okay, it has been designed in a such a way that your the whatever the domain name server DNS server is there, it should be able to find that IP address in a very easy way. Okay, it has its architecture is something like that. Okay, so for example, in a similar way, now suppose if I want to in a room, in your room, okay, suppose if I want to get sugar, where will I go? I will go to the kitchen. I'll go to kitchen. Why? Because you know your groceries are present in your kitchen. Okay, now if I want to have my t-shirt, where will I go? I will go to my wardrobe. Okay, I know that. Why? Because my uh, clothing and my dresses are, my dress is are different kinds of my shirts or pants or all those things are present in my wardrobe. Okay, so that is the thing. In a similar way, even your DNS servers are designed in a such a way that it will, based upon your request, it can easily find where which at where the IP address can be present. Okay, so like that. Okay, so we'll try to discuss in detail about your DNS server and all those things. Okay, in the next class, in the coming class, we will be able to get those things. Okay, so but just to see this thing. Okay, so whenever, for example, this PC, he is asking whenever he enters ibm.com, whenever he enters ibm.com in his web browser, that request will be carried from this system onto this DNS server. It will be carried from this system to this DNS server, and this DNS server, it will take this ibm.com domain name, and it will reply with the IP address, and it will reply with the IP address. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so that is the workout this DNS server. Now suppose here you are giving some different website, okay, jklm.com or xayb, some website which you're not having. So if that is carried by this PC, if that is given by this second PC, so that request will be carried to this DNS server. Okay, and this DNS server, it will check its cache memory, and it will check its alternate DNS cache memory and different DNS servers. Okay, after going through different DNS servers, at the end of the day, it will it will reply back to the PC. It will reply back to the PC with a error message. Okay, saying that the requested DNS could not be found. The requested DNS could not be found. Such a error message will be displayed on your browser, so that user will understand that website might have been closed, or that whatever the website a user has entered, it might be wrong. Okay, so in this way your DNS server will try to provide you the IP address. So in the coming session, we'll try to see exactly what are the different kinds of DNS server, how exactly you are provided with the IP address, what is the method in which your DNS server will reply back with the IP address. Okay, so we will go through that in the next class. Okay, so thank you for your patience. Let us meet tomorrow.